Hello, everyone. My name is TrupsLP, and on our special Friday edition of this political recap, I am joined, as always, by the Moist Lord himself, Omegon. Say hello, Omegon. God, that was loud.
It was a very satisfying opening of a bottle of Macallan.
There you go. How is Omegon?
Omegon is still irked about things. Stuff. Yeah.
Stuff and things.
I'm very
Yeah.
technical like that.
Yes, that's how I operate my life as well.
Yep. How's Trups LP?
TrupsLP is putting forth a lot more effort in his channel in the
Well,
last couple weeks.
you'll be able to do better now that you've mentioned your whole upgrade to, well, before the stream, to your internet. You'll be able to stream more, upload quicker. That's good
And
news.
yes, and I've put up just 3 videos this week already.
Hey, maybe we'll set up something where we can dual stream it on this channel and on your channel.
Hey, that'd be kind of
That'd
cool.
be kind of cool. I'll send you all the backdrop stuff and you can set it up.
I had to ask you at one point for a couple of the backdrop stuff because I want to make a small little animation clip thing with for Saki's song that he did.
Oh, right.
So I'll have to clip part of the stream and stuff.
Oh, just DM me and I'll send you the images.
Awesome.
You have to remind me because I will
No,
I will
that's
forget.
fine.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that my head thinks it's not important.
Also, Dead in the Damned. I'm so sorry.
Was that because of him or me?
He goes, for fuck's sake, shat me pants.
Oh yeah, but is that because of you or because of me?
I don't know.
Because it might have been my, bottle popping, which would have been quite satisfying. I've got a cough sweet. I really should take that. I don't even have a cold, but these are very good at soothing my throat.
I'm gonna leave that one there.
It's for the best.
Yes, indeed. All right, so what's going on that side of the ocean?
Oh right, yeah. We'll start with Brexit. I'm not changing scene for this, people. I don't see a point. This week has been plagued with Brexit. It's just been that to the point where, and the part that cracked me up the most, I guess, was that in Parliament, in the middle of February, there is a parliamentary recess, and MPs are complaining that they have booked holidays with their kids to go skiing, and they want refunds because, in the grand scheme of things, that to them is more important than ironing out all the details on Brexit. That, to them, was what really, really stuck out. That they've spent all this money on skiing holidays. That, they want a refund. And that's not a joke. MPs in Parliament did in fact say that. They would like a refund because of this. Because of Brexit. It's all Brexit's fault they can't go skiing with their kids. Just
Question,
to put this out there.
though,
Go on.
who pays for it originally?
Well, that's the thing. The taxpayer does, really. We pay them their salaries. They get a lot of time off, by the way. MPs in this country, I believe a couple of years ago, got a pay increase, but also get more time off. They spend less time in Parliament. Okay, they do other things like committees and other research things. They do actually do stuff, but they get a lot of time off. They get more time off than the average employee. And to put it in context, the average employee in this country gets 4 paid weeks off and all the bank holidays that we get as well, which is 8 bank holidays a year. So 28 days they get. They get 28 days. Okay, some might actually get a bit more than that, maybe 36. And if you're in a better position, you get more holiday. I think one of the best jobs for holidays, if you didn't have to do things outside like mark exam papers, would be teachers. Because they get the same holiday time as students. But of course, teachers spend all their free time not on holiday, but marking papers, setting curriculums, and
Teachers do a fuck ton of work outside
they
of the
do.
classroom.
But if they had holidays when their days were on those when students did, they'd have the best holidays, wouldn't they? But MPs, they get the best bit because they get to claim back on some of their expenses. So when these MPs stand in Parliament moaning about the fact that they can't go skiing, and I'm sat here thinking, nigga, I haven't been on holiday since I was 11 years old.
I feel that.
I'm
haven't been on holiday since
33,
14.
and I have not left this country. I have not been on a holiday since I was a child. And you're moaning you can't go skiing with your kids because Brexit's more important than skiing?
Well, it really shows you the contempt that people in positions of power have for their constituents, in my opinion. I mean, like, think about it. Okay, they want a refund. From whom? The government? The taxpayer?
Honestly, I think it's just silly. I think they knew going into it, they knew at this time there was no way they would be able to take a holiday considering how important this is. This is the single most important thing happening in British politics and has happened in over 50 years, I think. So I think it's well and truly redundant. Sorry, not redundant. It's late. Can you hear the dogs barking in the background?
Yes, all I was thinking of was irate bear woofing.
Those are my sister's dogs, because my sister is staying here tonight, because my other sisters have all gone to the hospital for my nephew to have his EEG thing, because he's got episodes. And so somebody just knocked on the front door. That's what happened.
Well,
and they all five of them went off. My apologies to those listening and to you, of course. But it's oh, what is the word? It's ludicrous to think that, or to believe, you wouldn't go into this not knowing this would happen, not knowing that you would have to be called back for something so important. And this is important.
Also, a comment to that is, theoretically, if you were to do the full Brexit thing, wouldn't there not be MPs anymore? I remember hearing that.
I'm sorry, hang on, what?
Wouldn't there not be MPs anymore? Because technically you wouldn't be part of the EU. I mean, you would still have your...
MEPs. Members of European Parliament, yes. But members of Parliament are British Parliament.
Mike Anger. Okay.
And Doc Dat, we do have filibustering to an extent. It's just not recognised as filibustering. I believe Jacob Rees-Mogg has done it himself before. And I believe at one point he was even talking about recipes for cakes at one point. Just so he could...
In U.S. history, there was somebody who took out a phone book.
Yes, I saw that, and it was absolutely... I remember The West Wing did a fantastic job about filibustering with senators, and they managed to get someone to go in and say to the senator, "Would you like a drink? Would you like to take a seat?" And they managed to, in the show, to show how you could disarm a senator who was filibustering over something as very important on a budget thing that was in the story. It was very good. But on the subject of Brexit, with it continuing, MPs have they've voted down a bunch of amendments, but they've agreed on some. There is something now that could get Theresa May's deal across the line, which had occurred to me, and it actually occurred to me yesterday, and I forgot to mention it or write it down. It's one of these weird things where it occurred to me that I was reading Theresa May's deal, and it's very vague. We all know this, because it all then has to be negotiated. And this is the part that it really didn't occur to me before. That when you look at it, that is the best version of the deal. Right? In the transition period, she still has to negotiate each of those points. So the best version of the deal is the vague one she presented. The actual end deal will be much worse than the one she's currently got. Because this one's vague, which means it could be really good by the standard she has set, which is piss poor by our standard.
Is that really that hard, though, to reach a piss poor standard?
No, but 2 years it took to make this one. But it's one of those really weird things that didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to me that this is the best version of the deal, and in the implementation period, or the transition period of 2 to 3 years, that's going to get picked at and negotiated down further and further and further to the point where it's even worse than it is now. But MPs have gotten to a point where they will now agree a deal. Agree to a term, or to... Excuse me. Agree to terms that will get this deal across the line. And I'm thinking, I really like no deal now, because I don't know why it never occurred to me. It never crossed my mind, that this is actually even worse than it could be. But they've gotten to the point where you think, where no deal is a possibility. And this is where, Serene, your question could be answered. After this all happened in Parliament, and I love that there's a video of Juncker saying she doesn't know what, where Jean-Claude Juncker, she said, she doesn't know what the MPs stand for. Well, the MPs do know what they stand for. In fact, he knew this because the vote had happened the day earlier. And they had said that what they wanted was the backstop removed. If the backstop is removed, then they will sign it. Now, Parliament did talk about unilateral mechanisms. I have no idea what that means. And there was a time limit to the backstop. That would get a deal on it, would actually get people interested. If there's a time limit, but then if there's no reason or incentive to get rid of it, then they won't. People have already shut this down. SNP saying, create a hard border and tear up the Good Friday Agreement. No. Northern Ireland and Ireland have both said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It really isn't. Shut the fuck up, SNP. Go back to Scotland. You go swim in your fields of saffron or something. But now that they've come up with something that could get the deal across the line, a couple of leaders from a few nations have spoken up and said, no. Emmanuel Macron being one. Of course, I'm going to take the word of somebody with a popularity rating half of that of Trump's. Yeah, totally.
And rapidly declining.
And it's rapidly, yeah. Whereas Trump's has at least been consistently shit, right? But then, and of course, Angela Merkel has also said something similar. But if memory serves, she's stepping down soon if she has not already. So what weight her
words... She's not that much better, honestly. She's not really one that, should...
I'm not going to shit on Merkel. She's leaving, I just don't care. As far as I'm aware, she's stepping down at some point. She might take over Juncker, who I believe his term is coming up soon as well. They'll vote in somebody else. If that's a new job for her, go for it. Fantastic. Prove the conspiracy theorists right that Germany are trying to take over Europe.
Oh, be careful using that word in stream. You might get demonetized by YouTube.
Please.
Also, somebody had messaged me that my volume wasn't so good, so if anybody in the chat could let me know if they can hear me.
You sound fine on my end, so it's balanced on my end. I'm looking at it. It's fine.
Okay.
Maybe it's because sometimes you speak quieter on occasions. Yeah, okay, so yeah, she's got a bit to go, but I don't know if it's worth holding her too much. If this is something that will get the deal across the line, and people have said this, that the EU will hold off until the absolute last moment, and then they'll accept it. And Anne's agreed, you're fine. So as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, if they can take the backstop and the deal gets through, then there's a deal. However, if those two leaders stick to their guns and hold it to the very last moment, but eventually buckle or don't buckle, then no deal has to happen, because that's the point, and it's something MPs still don't quite get. You cannot remove no deal off the table, because no deal is an inevitability if you don't agree a deal. You can't remove no deal if there is no deal. So it has to happen. It's not a case of crashing out either, because just because you have no deal doesn't mean you can't then negotiate a new deal, which I think is a fundamental mistake MPs make. They don't grasp this idea that, yes, you leave with nothing. However, you then you then renegotiate all your new stuff. And quite frankly, that's okay. The EU does not want the budget deficit, which they will get with no deal. We want to keep the trade. How do you do that? By negotiating and agreeing terms. You want to hold your standards, your high standards, EU, that's fine. But we want to trade with other countries. So we're not going to keep those same high standards or ridiculously over-the-top, unsustainable high standards that damage our ecology for other countries, for trade with other nations. We're going to change it to to make the best of our situation, which is reasonable. So to answer the question of whether or not the odds are of leaving with no deal, it really is a 50-50. It hinges on whether or not member states of the EU, states, can can.
I was thinking that the whole time. I'm like,
It's
you know
been
how
bugging
ironic
me.
this
It's been
sounds?
bugging me for weeks. It really has. Whether or not these member states, can stick to their conviction and say that the best deal on the table is the current deal in place. They can stick to it. No deal happens. But if, as many believe, the EU will buckle, because they have done before in the past when it came to negotiating trade with Canada and with the US no less, then a deal could happen and the backstop would be removed. The only issue now, excuse me, the only issue now is whether or not a hard border happens between Northern Ireland and Ireland. And the only reason this is an issue is because of the Good Friday Agreement. That's a peace process that has existed for decades. So
You know what we could do? We could take Trump, right? And we'll take Trump. We'll go talk to the Brexit leaver MPs.
Yeah.
We can take Nancy Pelosi, Theresa May, and all the Remainers, and we'll separate them like that, and then they can have each other.
Well, rather interestingly, Tom Watson, the deputy leader of the Labour Party, he's accused the Conservatives of bribing MPs from his party that are themselves leavers into agreeing to her deal. He's made that accusation because she has said that, there'll be some concessions made to negotiate with those to get the votes needed to get her deal across the line. And I don't know if it's bribing. I think it's called playing politics. You make a deal. And
no.
It's like with your budgets. Every year your budget comes around, lots of other people that will say, I won't vote for it, want to add something to it. So they do. And it ends up being a book the size of a chair in height.
It's really weird to look at what's happening in the UK and what's happening in the US, because they are so goddamn similar.
And yet, we can finish and put our entire budget into a tiny red briefcase. You couldn't get yours through customs because of all the staples used to hold the fucker together.
But then think of what we had back in the day. Okay, we had a bunch of ragtag poor people from UK who decided, fuck this bigger entity who's trying to, take away our representation.
Prospero is quite right. Concessions is not equal to bribery. That's the point here. If you in this instance, how can Theresa May best get people on side? The only reason she got a government was by making concessions with the DUP to give them additional funding, money that was freely available to give to them anyway, so that they would prop up her minority government so that she would have enough votes for a majority. It is reasonable for her then to negotiate in Parliament with MPs that she believes can be swung. How does she do that? By giving them something that benefits them, i.e. their constituencies. So there's nothing wrong with that. I would like to now say to Theresa May, if you've at all reached out to my MP, Charlie Elphick, and promised to improve the quality of our paths, I will stick a picture on Twitter tomorrow of the current path running down my high street. Whoever the fuckhead was that redid our roads, can you not? Because you just made them look shit. They've redone our paths and roads. They just look shit. You should have just left them as they were, because they looked nice even with the potholes. Even the potholes were better quality than what you've given us in return. People like walking on the brick curb instead because it looks nicer than the tarmac you've run down the centre. You prick.
Oh my god. You know what fucking happened on an interstate that went up through my state? There was, how they put down like steel slats over potholes that get too
Not in this country, no.
Oh, okay, well, they do that here because some of our stuff has rivers running underneath it,
Of
and
course,
it'll
yes.
start, taking away.
Yeah, of course.
Apparently, one of those things got bent over time, and
Oh.
it launched 6 inches off the ground and slammed into the underside of a sedan.
I've never seen anything that amazing, but I have seen a guy so fat walk across a manhole cover, and the manhole cover, well, it twisted. And
you just hear that bending metal sound from like across the street. You're like, the fuck just happened?
I was behind the guy, and his foot sunk into the ground. It was hilarious.
Oh god.
He was moaning more because he'd hurt his knee on the leg that didn't go under, but also because the manhole cover went up his underwear, and which went in turn up his arse. Which,
well, I guess that's how he gets some nutrient.
If I get my phone, I'm pretty sure I've still got the video recorded.
Oh my god, why do you have a video of that?
Because when he fell into the ground, I recorded and said, "Can you do me a favour and just start screaming mindless, worthless, rambling stuff again? Because I want to see a fat man cry."
Fuck. What the fuck? Most nonsensical thing I've heard all day.
It's okay. I was telling Anne earlier about a job interview I had a few years ago. I'm going to go off topic because this is worth it. And just before me, there was this really hot girl, and the guy I was interviewing said, "Yeah, she's got the job." And so I thought, "Oh right, my housemate and I, well, we're not getting the job then, right?" So for 20 minutes, I fucked with him. He asked me if I could be any animal in the world, what would I be? And I asked this to the chat: if you could be any animal, and you of course, Trups, what would you be and why?
Well, while you tell your story, I'll think.
Okay, well, I said I'd like to be a tapeworm. For no reason other than to be in your intestines. No reason whatsoever, just to be a tapeworm. What would you be?
So not like that, because something about living in someone else's ass doesn't quite pertain to my interests. But you do you, I guess.
Not with that attitude. A crow. Lol.
No, I think I would love to go with that whole tortoise life, because they don't, or like a sloth life, because they don't have to go anywhere, and in fact the food just comes to them after a certain point, because they've not moved for so long that it just grows on them.
And tortoise shells make for fantastic bowls. And the last question he asked me was, use 3 words to describe yourself. Now I gave him an option. I said, I'll give you the good answer and then my answer. And he said, let's hear your answer. And I said, killer alien vagina.
Oh, that's an answer.
I knew I wasn't getting the job, so I walked. We shook hands and I left. By the way, I probably would have gone with hardworking, punctual, and professional. My housemate.
Oh, of course. There's like the set fucking responses you have for when you do a job.
My housemate, he also had the job interview, and I said, "Don't bother. He's already given the job to the hot girl before us." So we went to KFC and just chilled. It was worth it. Back to this though. Brexit's a fucking
Nick's radio had a fucking good response. I'm lying, because then I get to sit in the shade all day while the women run out and hunt.
Good. Immortal jellyfish, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Good choice.
I don't count that, because
I always preferred the Stegosaurus, to be honest. So fuck you.
Yo, I love plesiosaurs, the fucking Loch Ness monster shit.
You like Loch Ness? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I think they're the coolest fucking dinosaur ever.
I love that it's a political thing. We're talking about fucking dinosaurs.
Again,
in my primary school in Hawley, Court Lodge, all classes were at the time called dinosaur names. I was in, I believe, Tyrannosaurus Rex. That was the name of my classroom. It was awesome. My sister was in Diplodocus. I thought it was the gayest one ever. Yes, politics. Wow. Brexit's a fucking mess. I haven't planned anything for it, so I do apologise for rambling for 25 minutes. My apologies.
Nice job.
I did my job. It's your turn now. Let's go.
All right. So, as you guys may have heard, if you're in the U.S., we've had some people announce their candidacy for a 2020 race against the president. Most recently,
do you want me to play a video of one of them?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's watch that together.
Okay. Do you know whose video this is?
I'm assuming it was the one that you had sent earlier in the day.
Oh, yes.
Right,
If there is echo, everyone, I do apologise, but I'm going to press play.
In America, we have a common pain, but what we're lacking is a sense of common purpose.
Ooh.
What's up?
Profound.
Dude.
I grew up knowing that the only way we can make change is when people come together. When I was a baby, my parents tried to move us into a neighborhood with great public schools, but realtors wouldn't sell us a home because of the color of our skin. A group of white lawyers who had watched the courage of civil rights activists were inspired to help black families in their own community, including mine.
Virtue.
And they changed the course of my entire life. Because in America, courage is contagious.
Go on.
I was saying, do you feel the virtue signaling? It's everywhere.
Okay, so if you don't know who this is already, this is Cory Booker. We're going to watch the whole fucking thing because it's only like 2 minutes 26. He announced it today. A fair few have announced this. I do want to go to a tweet I put out about this because a few people replied and I thought they were quite funny and they're worth pointing out. But I'll keep going. I do want to say, if they were denied a property based on the colour of their skin, that is obviously fucking stupid. Obviously that is. And I feel sorry for anyone who had to go through that. Of course. So, but I guess the one issue a lot of people will take is that if you use that as a focal point, then you're kind of you make it seem like you're going to attack people on race because of what you went through.
Also, this is a hard thing for a lot of leftists to understand, but I don't judge you by the color of your skin. Why do you judge yourself by the color of your skin?
Oh, don't. The leftist thing, we'll get to that soon enough. I promise you. That fucking right-winger comment, fucking grr. I'm gonna press play
we'll
on this
get there,
video,
but let's keep watching.
Yeah.
My dad told me, boy, never forget where you came from or how many people had to sacrifice to get you where you are.
Don't all parents say that?
I certainly hope so.
My dad did. Although I think he was a dustman at the time and he was just telling me, why don't you get a job? Sorry, I say it like him. Why don't you just get a fucking job then? To which I replied, because I want to be better than you, fuckhead. Anyway.
So over 20 years ago, I moved into the Central Ward of Newark to fight slumlords and help families stay in their homes. I still live there today, and I'm the only senator who goes home to a low-income inner-city community, the first community that took a chance on me.
He's been in the Senate for over 6 years, am I right?
I believe so, and you know what? I will give him credit.
That's impressive.
He lives in Newark. I come from New Jersey, so I understand.
I'm just going to say,
I'd fucking vote for him.
I know he goes home, but unless I'm mistaken, he's still a senator. Does he not have a place? He resides in DC.
Yes, he does.
I am Spartacus. Yes, this is him.
That is the same guy, yeah.
Continuing, we've got a full half video left.
We are better when we help each other. The history of our nation is defined by collective action, by interwoven destinies of slaves, abolitionists, of those born here and those who chose America as home.
I do want to point out, the abolitionist, the slave thing, you're not living that age anymore, though. So you can't...
Yeah, it's long gone.
Yeah, you can't keep using that as a point about what the country was, because that's not now what the country is. It's no longer a valid point. I know people like to use history's important, but I do agree with a lot of people who are moaning on Twitter about Black History Month. It's just American History Month now. It really should be.
Also, like Black History Month, they don't really celebrate Black History Month. Like they're not really, they don't actually care. They more like use it as an excuse to talk about Black Pride in February. But I don't feel as if you really want to go into Black History Month, let's talk about the King of Ghana. Let's talk about all the slaves he sold to Europe.
We'll do that later. Let's continue with the video.
Yeah.
Those who took up arms to defend our country and those who linked arms to challenge and change it. I
Mostly white people.
believe that we can build a country where no one is forgotten, no one is left behind.
That doesn't sound possible.
And also, look at all the fucking, like, like virtue like clips they're using. All right, farmers, border wall.
I'm supporting Beto O'Rourke right now. Fuck it.
I'm not supporting any of them.
He skateboards. He's got my vote. Can I vote in your country yet?
Actually, probably if you're voting for a Democrat.
I'll win. I'll just I'll go jump in one of those cargo containers and fly over.
Yeah, just download a fucking absentee ballot.
Hey, win. Let's continue.
That's not how that works.
Where parents can put food on the table, where there are good-paying jobs with good benefits in every neighborhood.
That's not possible. Continuing.
Where our criminal justice system keeps us safe.
It does. It keeps the illegal immigrants in there with their children and then separates them for extra security.
Instead of shuffling more children into cages and coffins.
Blame the...
Yo, fucking coffins. Children are going into coffins because of the police.
It's... Okay. It is absolutely disgraceful, and this is not the funny part. It is absolutely disgraceful that, you know, that the kids have to go through that. It really is. But it's the parents' fault for illegally entering the country.
Also, according to Prospero, he did rush into a burning building to save somebody.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's pretty badass.
I mean, it's a cool thing for him to do. But
yeah,
like,
it is. But
okay.
But he's done a few things that are very not so cool. If you did do that, by the way, that is actually badass. And I won't take that away from
I should point out Dan Crenshaw lost an eye in war.
I heard about that guy.
Because he was a Navy SEAL.
No, some of these guys are badass as fuck. And credit to them.
No, they are.
Absolutely fantastic. I won't take that away from him. But I only know him from the Spartacus memes and whatever that other fucking shit he said during the Kavanaugh stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I will never take away that these people might be genuinely good people with really shitty ideas.
I will say though, this ad is nowhere near as cringe as the Beto one. We'll finish it, guys. Got 30 seconds left.
Let's finish.
Where we see the faces of our leaders on television and feel pride, not...
Oh, thank you /dash for the donation through Super Chat, which was oddly well timed for me pausing the video at the same time. Thank you.
shame. It is not a matter of can we. It's a matter of do we have the collective will, the American will. I believe we do.
Well, I think people did, 2 years ago, when they got so sick and tired of the shit they were enduring, they voted for, and thank you again, /dash, when they voted in Donald Trump. Because I think this is fascinating. Every campaign I hear of from your country, there's always a different slogan, but the gist of it is, we want change. It's always we want change. Except for Trump's, which has been make America great again.
It was still change, but it was more like it wasn't an unknown change.
But it was said
it was a tangible change.
Thank you again, /dash. That's brilliant. But it was said so differently, it stood out. If that makes sense. Exactly. He chose to be a poet about it, and also go with something that is actually clever, and obviously at the same time inspired a lot of people to claim racism.
Yep.
Let's finish
keep
this.
going. Almost done.
Yeah. Together, we will channel our common pain back into our common purpose. Together, America.
Thank you, /dash. Who is Daddy? Trups, who is Daddy?
I actually don't know the answer to this question.
Is it /dash?
/dash daddy.
Okay, cool.
We will rise.
Oh, we will rise.
I'm Cory Booker, and I'm running for President of the United States of America.
We will rise.
Awesome. It's a fucking sports ad, man.
We will rise. What's he, a fucking phoenix? Oh my god. That's brilliant.
Fall Out Boy endorsement.
Oh, did he get a Fall Out Boy endorsement?
No. I would just think that'd be really funny because they actually have that song. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that song on the that's one of the best songs they did on their comeback album. I've got the album right next to me actually. It's such a
Yes,
twat.
Prospero. Booker can be annihilated in a debate, and that's probably where a lot of these guys are going to end up losing because they can't hold their own.
From the album.
Or rather, they can't be asked pointed questions without deflection and ignoring. But
on my
that.
signed copy of Save Rock and Roll, The Phoenix. That's brilliant. That song is. And yes, I have signed albums. I'm that kind of guy.
I mean, I'm not going to judge. I totally have a signed Nightwish album.
Don't.
So, like...
Behind me, I actually recently rehung a bunch of posters, tour posters, that are signed by the gig bands. Gig tickets are in there, and so are photos of me at the gig. Because, yeah, I decided I'm that old, I should do that. Anyway, I put on Twitter a comment. So, Cory Booker has announced that he's running for president. I've noticed quite a few candidates for the Dems pop up. Good luck to them. But they seem to not covered the Jedis and pig fuckers. What are people's thoughts on the current selection of candidates? With Maddie, who does have a channel, you should go check her out. She normally streams on Twitch now, though. Saying, number 1, Hillary, senile old woman. Biden, the village idiot. Harris, an upholder of wrongful convictions and harlot. Booker, one who sexually assaulted a gay guy. And 5, Pocahontas. And then
but now there's more.
Oh, God, yeah. And many people's comments here, pretty much like, someone here put a picture of a guy holding balloons with the jumper, I have given up. I like it. There are more, so yes. Shall we go through those?
Yeah. Now this is a very interesting list, and I don't necessarily believe in most of them, but they do a pretty comprehensive list.
Okay.
Let's start with number 1 as Kamala Harris.
Who is this?
Kamala Harris used to be a prosecutor for California.
Really? I thought Kamala was a wrestler for the WWF.
No, I'm sorry. California's Attorney General. So yes, technically a prosecutor, the highest prosecutor.
Okay, not a wrestler then. Okay.
No. However, she has come under fire as being basically the cruelest kind of attorney general. She started prosecuting people who didn't send their kids to school by threatening them with jail time by prosecuting truancy.
Yep. I just put a picture of Kamala on the screen for everyone. Thank you, /.dash.
That has been her worst commentary at this point in time, except for the fact that she's just kind of a cunt.
I mean, they look alike. I mean, Kamala the wrestler and Kamala Harris, they look similar. Yeah. Not at all racist by the WWE.
Cyrene, what do I think of Howard Schultz running as an independent? We'll get there, and I have thought. So that's mostly Kamala Harris. However, she is definitely in the lead for people's opinion, which is really weird because she's just another establishment Democrat, like how Hillary was, but less so and black.
Okay, so we have on the oppression list, black woman. Cross that off, everyone. Next, Pocahontas.
Yes, Elizabeth Warren. Everybody knows her as basically I am 1024th American Indian. And she had a very awful commentary recently where she had this video on Facebook where she just gets up and goes, I want to go drink a beer. And it was very awkward and very staged. Wanted to make it really casual looking. It just looked weird.
Hang on. I'll see if I can find it. Give me a sec.
But in reality, I don't think anybody will take Elizabeth Warren seriously. After the whole thing with Trump, I don't think anybody could literally or realistically take her seriously as a president.
Right, I've got the video.
So, who've we got here so far?
Yeah, I'm done with that shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's about it. But it's just pandering. It's like, look at me, I'm relatable.
Right, there we go. Next.
Okay, Sherrod. Let's go Sherrod Brown.
What the fuck is that first name?
Hold on, I have a thought, but let's see if I'm right. I was so wrong. It's a white dude.
Really?
I thought it was a
dear.
black woman.
I was expecting it to be a black guy. Okay, so Sherrod.
I don't know shit about him.
Well, you've got here a proposal to boost the incomes of 47 million lower-wage Americans with a $1.4 trillion expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit, a wage subsidy. Oh, like working tax credits over here. Okay.
Oh, don't do that.
Like Sanders is a champion of Labour and a prescient. I actually don't know the word. I'm feeling a bit special. I've never seen that word written.
Yep, nope, I got nothing.
Yep. Critic of the dangers of unfettered free trade.
Alright, so fuck you and your socialist agenda.
Okay,
Moving on.
next. Beto O'Rourke. Hang on. I will, because it is worth it.
You pulling up the skateboarding video again?
Yes.
Okay. Also, I like that that guy had a book, Myths of Free Trade and Why American Trade Policy Has Failed. He wrote in 2006.
Hang on, his skateboarding video isn't, like, appearing as a first option on YouTube. Oh, no, there it is. Here we go. Prescient. Thank you, Prospero. I'll give the guy credit. He at least knows how to turn. My dad
Is
needs
Elizabeth Warren a robot? No. Mark Zuckerberg
Then again,
is.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's. He's
Or a lizard man, I'm not sure.
Yeah. My dad's a little bit older than Beto, and my dad can still do some tricks on the skateboard, which is quite impressive for a cunt.
That's pretty dope.
Mm.
But yeah, so we all know Beto. He lost to Ted Cruz, and he tried to be hip with the kid.
Oh, he's hip by comparison to all the other cringe fucking mongers.
Until he breaks hip.
Yeah. Next, Joe Biden, everyone.
Yeah, the 76-year-old.
Not much older than Trump.
Yeah, but starting a campaign. And remember, he's 76 now.
He'll be 78 when he actually... Yeah.
Right. Which means at the end of a term, he'd be 82.
He won't survive the first term. Biden,
Probably
though,
not.
does have, on his side, he has considerable experience as vice president, at least.
True.
Hopefully that stands him in good stead when he's beaten across the table by Beto O'Rourke.
Honestly, I would say that Biden is one of their best choices to go against Trump. But it wouldn't... I don't think it would save them.
No. Some have said that Beto should be a running mate for people. That's what I've noticed. A number of people saying Beto should be a running mate for someone, but they haven't decided who the primary should be.
And also, you're going to have a hard time selling that point because of, like, all right, so running on the Democratic candidacy against Trump-Pence would be Biden-Beto. Does that seem less intersectional than the Democrats would like?
Booker Beto would be a good one.
Actually, that one was theorized for a while, but again,
combo.
it's too male.
I know they've got
patriarchy.
pretty much every area covered, hence why I mentioned the Jedi and the pigfuckers being left out. But I think if you want to win, you have to settle. I told you in DMs earlier, Republicans don't know how to win, which is why Trump won.
Right, exactly. Because Trump's not a real Republican.
Democrats, though, know how to win. They know how to win. They just have
But their base won't let them.
They need to stop doing this purity testing crap, and they need to just go with the best candidates and lose. Next, Bernie Sanders.
Bernie. Oh, okay. So
Who's
I made the old
77.
comment with Joe Biden. So, and also, I almost feel bad for him
Why is that?
because he lost the presidency by bullshit, underhanded tactics by Hillary.
Okay, so much like in our country, Boris Johnson, Bernie got stabbed in the back by his own party. That was just absolutely amazing. Because I believed back then that if anyone could beat Trump, it would have been Bernie. I don't know if he could have in the grand scheme of things, but I believe he stood a greater chance than Hillary.
I honestly think if they had run Bernie against Trump, Bernie would have won.
See, a lot of people agree. Then some will say, nah, he didn't stand a fucking chance, he's a socialist. But I'm sat back thinking, no, he would have won. He didn't have he
at least would have been a politician.
He didn't have the demons. He doesn't have any. But what does Hillary have? Oh, we don't know what Hillary has because she shredded them. Oh, what a cunt. I don't think Bernie stands a chance. No offense.
I don't think he'll last.
Although, if he does run, his best chance is to run as a running mate with somebody else. Again, I don't think he could run as a front runner. But he would be a fantastic running mate for someone because of his popularity with...
I agree, actually.
Kirsten Gillibrand. I have no idea who she is. But she's 52 at least. She's younger.
She is... Yeah, but she's also the most vocal leader of the #MeToo movement in elected office.
Right, so she wants to abolish ICE, of course she does.
And anti-amnesty.
Yeah, I see it at the bottom. Yeah, I see.
And, not to mention, she is an establishment Democrat. She is basically a toned-down version, and by toned down, I mean less spastic version of Hillary Clinton.
Less spastic.
Well, I'm pretty sure she has health problems, but...
I don't know how to pronounce the next person on the list.
Amy Klobuchar.
Klobuchar. That's quite the name.
Yep. So... she's okay.
Okay.
Like, I don't know too much about her is the problem.
Okay, she's not winning then.
I think that's because I don't know anything about her. So I don't know. I'd have to see her in a debate and see how she does.
Julian Castro. Wait, Castro?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned just by that, but
he's Latin, so you know.
It looks like the only election he's ever won were in his hometown of San Antonio.
He was also shortlisted for VP for Hillary's candidacy thing. Okay, so there's unlikely really. Next is Cory Booker.
He's a Texan Latin.
Yeah. Cory Booker's next. He's 49. Tell you what, if they got another young guy in like they did with Obama, they're pretty much set because the guy's young enough. He's still down with his people. By the way, I'm liking the look of this team.
Cory and Bernie would be an interesting combo.
Yeah, that would just remind me of Obama Biden. That would seem kind of like that's the win.
That would be a good idea though.
That's your winning formula.
For the Democrats.
It's your winning formula. It got you 2 elections. The second one was you were always.
So the second one was kind of just like we couldn't win because Sarah Palin.
Yeah, you were never going to win with Romney.
John
Hickenlooper.
Okay, so Colorado's former governor. So again, he is
centrist.
He's a centrist, yeah, but he's also pro-fracking, which is against the environmentalists.
We have fracking.
Though he does have the marijuana legalization, which is good for the hippies.
It's good for a lot of people. To be fair, a lot of people are vying for legalization of marijuana. I know they do it in this country as well. I have a different opinion, but only because I don't give a shit about it.
But I like how it's written here. Pragmatic, pro-trade, business-oriented Democrat who has a very progressive social record, and a more centrist view of economic issues. Okay, I can work with that.
That sounds like somebody who could work with both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, I could tolerate it. I need to know more.
Next,
worthwhile looking into. Yep.
Pete Buttigieg.
I'm sorry. Is that how you say that?
I have no idea, but let's call him Pete Buttigieg.
Okay, that.
Hang on. There's a problem already. He's only 36.
Oh wait, hold on. Pronounce boot edge.
No. He should be. If I remember correctly, he's too young to run for president.
That is correct.
Excluded. Next.
Yeah.
Jay Inslee. If I remember correctly, but the only reason I know this is because when I was looking at moving to the States back when I was 25, some of the things that cropped up were how old can you be before you serve in Congress? How old can you be before you serve in the Senate?
No, I'm sorry. It's 35 that you have to be.
Wait, it's
I
35.
thought it was 45.
I thought it was 45 as well. That's what I remember seeing 10 years ago.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh,
It is
I
35.
clearly got wrong information as well. My mistake. Still, no, he's not going to... No.
But yeah, again, not experienced enough, and I think no one would vote for him for that reason.
Yeah. Jay Inslee, who is this?
I guess he's a climate change type.
Invest in education and slash college tuition. Good luck with that.
So he looks like a Green Party type.
Okay.
I don't think.
Do they stand much of a chance in your system?
No, Green Party fucking fails with like 1% of the vote every election.
Okay. So, next is Steve Bullock.
Actually, to put it in perspective, Elizabeth Warren ran on the Green Party in 2016.
Right.
Steve Bullock, Montana governor. Deadwood worthy name. I mean, all right.
I don't actually. There's nothing in that statement that's politically helpful at all.
Yeah, so he's a campaign finance reform type. So he would be like he would be one of those people who like tries to slash corruption.
Right.
Kind of type.
Okay.
And for that, what I'm gonna say is the Democrats won't endorse you.
Yeah. Oh, the next one's got oppression points. Eric Garcetti, Hispanic, Jewish, Italian American heritage.
Ooh,
right.
Fuck yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
But it's a he. No. Next. Michael Bloomberg.
and in California.
Yeah, Michael Bloomberg.
Okay, this one I have heard the most like praise for from Republicans and Democrats.
Okay.
Republicans aren't really happy about him because he used to be a Republican who, turned table, but he is very financially oriented. However, he's against the NRA, so he'll lose out on several million.
Okay. If he's a billionaire, surely he'd just fund it himself.
Yep, that's what they say here, but he is also 76.
Oh, well, he's got to keep those billions to himself then. For, medicine and the elixir to life.
Sacrificing children to Baphomet.
John Kerry, the guy who saluted once, and that was when his campaign failed to Bush. And I remember this because the cringy
I remember
salute.
John Kerry, and it was bullshit back then. It's gonna be bullshit again. I remember this shit I was 9 fucking years old, and we did a fucking faux election, and John Kerry won because my area is hella Democrat.
When Kerry was campaigning, I remember seeing political commentators in this country say the moment he lost the election was that moment he did the cringy salute.
Yeah.
That was when people say he lost, and I was like, wait, so George Bush just won an actual election as opposed to winning it the same way now Trump has done via the college electorate. Hanging chads, everyone.
Eric Holder will not fucking make it. I'm telling you right now.
Who's Eric Holder? We're on John Kerry.
Former Attorney General.
Oh, he's the next one. We'll get to him in a second. So, John Kerry, do you think he is very qualified though? Paris Climate Agreement, Iran nuclear deal. He is very, Secretary of State. He is very qualified. But he's 75.
Well, it's not even that he's too old. I just don't think that people like his ideas, especially when... So, like, here's one of the questions I would ask in the debate. All right, you lost in 2004.
Yep.
Why do you think...
Sorry?
Why do you think, if I were to ask Kerry, why do you think you lost in 2004?
What would he say?
I don't know what he would say, but the problem is that no matter what he would answer, it would either be egotistical or completely the other direction, which plays onto party politics. So you could say that Kerry lost in 2004 because when Bush had to handle the nation after 9/11, that the nation was resoundingly more nationalistic than it has ever been since the end of the Second World War.
Yeah, he didn't stand a chance, to be fair.
Right. So he couldn't possibly win.
Mm-hmm.
What makes him think that now, against Trump, where the nation is now polarized and divisive in their nationalism, you have a chance now?
I think we'll do two more. We'll do Eric Holder as the final candidate because I obviously have to leave soon. So what do we know about Eric Holder?
Eric Holder is the former AG underneath Obama.
Okay. What's AG?
I mean, there were mixed opinions on him.
What's AG?
Basically, he doesn't. Oh, AG is Attorney General.
Ah, Attorney General. Thank you.
And so there really wasn't a whole. He just hasn't been talking much. He doesn't make comments. He doesn't appear to be playing the game.
Also said famously, these banks are too big to prosecute. What a pussy.
Yeah.
Okay, well that answers that then.
Jeff Merkley.
Oh, I saw the next. Well, okay, we'll go Jeff Merkley. States
Yeah,
that
I'm just trying to speed through these because you got somewhere to go.
Okay, I'll quickly go back. There we go. No, there. No, there. Yes.
You know what? I'm just gonna run through these people, and I'm gonna pick out the ones that I fucking know who they are.
Okay, Jeff.
Because I don't know any of these next three.
Okay.
22, Howard Schultz. Okay, so this is the former Starbucks CEO.
Lol. Starcucks.
And okay, so he is he has been making a few waves in media, and it's because he's an independent with a highly progressive social agenda. I mean, like hella, and a very conservative financial thing. So if he runs as an independent, they will split the votes from the Democrats.
Yeah, and Prospero, we have not skipped Tulsi. She's further down the list. He or she?
It's a woman.
She, yeah. Right, continue.
So yeah, if he runs as an independent, he's going to guarantee Trump gets reelected. So the Democrats would have to endorse.
Right.
But they won't.
Okay. Next.
Eric Swalwell is a fucking cunt of a human being.
Next.
Like the shit he says, I'm just gonna have you look it up on Twitter. He is an asshat.
Okay. Next.
John Delaney, I mean, meh.
Next.
Not really that important. I don't know.
Next.
I don't know. Tulsi Gabbard.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so first Hindu to serve in the House of Representatives.
Oh. And, hang on, here we go. Virulently passed anti-LGBTQ activism. Oh, she's fucked. You can apologize, but once it's there, nah.
Do you know why, though? Because she had paid a freelance visit to Al-Assad and dismissed his opposition as terrorists.
Amazing.
So she's an Assad fucking sympathizer.
Wow.
She can burn along with Ilhar Omar.
Right.
Ilhar Omar? Yeah. And when I say burn, I mean politically, not physically. I'm not that mean.
Well, that was that. We're done.
Okay, so... Well, Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton. Stacey Abrams was the failed governor-elect from Georgia who refused to concede the election when she lost.
Wow. Well done.
So no. And then Hillary Clinton. Fucking lady, go away.
Yeah, you're dumb. You're being held up by a back brace.
No, you need to go away. The Democrats, the fucking convention doesn't want you anywhere near them. Stay away.
You've been told. Although she'll probably get selected, to be fair. Before we leave, because I now have to go to Ghost Poo, is there anything you want to shill?
I put up a bunch of videos on New York City's abortion bill pass and Virginia's attempt at murdering babies seconds before they were born.
I saw that. I saw that.
They are both on my channel. Link to my channel down below.
Yes, go subscribe to Trups. As I've got to go on to Ghost Poo podcast, say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.